So we're going to be doing a shaking meditation. Before we start, a little intro so that, you know, our nervous system also come with us feeling safe. This, I would put it under the umbrella of feminine practice. We might want to embody some dark masculine energy, but generally speaking, practices that use the body are more feminine. And the idea is that to feel an emotion, you have your body in motion. That's really literally what it is. So otherwise called the somatic approach. In this, it's really interesting. The body of work from, it's a Dutch researcher, Van der Kolk, I think, if I'm pronouncing it right, but the book he wrote, it's called The Body Keeps the Score. Really insightful into how trauma and physical pain and sensation, they relate to each other. So I'm telling you all this, so we bring safety to the nervous system. And shaking, it's a powerful tool that we know how to use since we are littles. Animal, they do it when they run away from, you know, the lion, the hyena that managed to escape the lion will shake off the fear. And the same when we are children, when we're mad, we get a good shaking in, because that's how our body likes to process information. And if you want to learn more about the feminine and masculine, you might know I'm a coach. My programs start exactly with these ideas and helps you find your balance between the relation with your body and your mind, and bring safety to both, using one for the other, basically, as a dance, a polarity dance. Then we go to the practical things that is in the next slide.
Sorry, just reminder of the mics and cameras, if you want to touch on that now.
When we start, you guys can take off your mic and camera. If you want to be seen, it's also a beautiful practice to allow yourself to be seen doing crazy things, embodying this wild wolf woman that runs in the forest. Feel free to do so. However, number one priority is your nervous system safety. So if that doesn't feel safe to you, you don't need to be on camera. I'll be, so I can also physically guide you, but you are always sovereign. You always get to make the call on what is right for you. So if we go to the next step before we start, with all these things, you want to trust your body. If I say go to the right and your body wants to go to the left, you do what your body does. You are always your own king, your own queen. You always get to choose what to do. And if you have not trained yourself to be safe with your body, the very first thing you can always do is always going back to your breath. If you are like scared or something, just really focus on your breath, and the breath and the music will guide you. Next, the whole point of shaking meditation is that we'll release energy from the joints. So if you find yourself that you don't know what to do, maybe think of one of the joints, and as we do it, I might call them out. I'm gonna say maybe wrist or elbow or shoulder or feet. But again, trust your body. If you don't know what to do, or I'm not saying anything and you're like, oh, I don't know how to move, don't think too much. Just like imagine, like feel one of the joints and focus on that and see how that wants to move. The follow-up to that is that some movements are going to be like fast and short, because you want not to break one of your shoulders as you do this. So if it's fast, I recommend like a shorter motion. But if you want to feel more range, then slow it down. That's also fine. The music might bring you to move more, but you're like tired. Just like allow yourself to move between these two types of movements. If you keep your eyes closed, you might visualize things, you might move more things, but if it doesn't feel safe, you can keep your eyes open, and that might also make you more self-conscious. It's, again, up to you. I think I'll do it mostly with my eyes closed. Then the best is to be standing, because then you can move more of your legs. But sometimes I do it also laying down. So if you're not capable of standing up right now, or you don't feel comfortable, you can also lay down and see you're gonna move more the core. Yeah. So unless there's any other questions, I'll set up the song that I chose. It's gonna be about 8 minutes that I ask of you. And, you know, try to give it your all. And if you feel tired, slow down rather than just stop completely, because your body then doesn't like that shock of stopping. But yeah, if there's no questions, can't wait. Great. I'm gonna ask if
ready then
for the volume. here we can start standing up.
Perfect volume.
Focus on your breathing. Feel the breath moving inwards. The music maybe start to move you a little bit. Maybe you can swing a little bit side to side. Feel the connection to the ground. Use the plant of your feet. And allow your core to move. Bring in your arms. Allow yourself to be ugly. Allow the energy to move. Try stomping, maybe 1 foot at a time, like a toddler having a tantrum. Allow yourself to take space. You don't have to make yourself smaller for anyone. Feel that lineage, those ancestors, those woods coming for you. Maybe try shaking your wrists, your fingers, like you're letting go of water, of pain, of blood. Give it all up here to the earth. Let the vibration fall down. Give your shit to Mother Earth. She can take it. She turns it into flowers. See if your neck wants to come and play. Can you let go of all of your thoughts? All of the worries? All the problems? We are halfway. If you're tired, learn to rest, not to give up. Be with your body. Be with its whole range of motion. Feel the power coming from your hip. That center of creation. Make babies, makes life, makes blood. left, right, left, right. Feminine, masculine, holding you, being you. As you feel your energy, feel that alpha couple, the power of love and leadership, that freedom, the witch side of you. Can you receive what if you didn't have to be pretty to be beautiful? What if you wear the mud, the tree trunk, the snow, the mountain? Can you allow yourself to be natural? You want to call that inner wolf. One more minute, guys. We are almost home. There we go. Congratulations, everyone. Let's give ourselves a moment to feel our heart. All that shit moving. Actually, now I'm gonna start introducing the second part of today. We're gonna be doing some shadow work. And for those of you who don't know what shadow work is, it's basically to uncover the bad parts of us or life. It can be our flaws, our limitation, the people that get on our nerves. It can be the things we hate in life, everything that we oppose resistance to. And this book that you see the cover over there basically says, you know, given that you can't really avoid the suffering, you can actually get a kick out of it. Kink, like in sex, it's kind of like when people love things that they shouldn't love. You know, they like to be tied up, or they like to be mistreated, or they like to have more power over the others. And so as they do that, they feel aroused. So here we are applying the reverse formula. You're already doing things that kind of like fuck up with your life, or other people are doing things that fuck up with your life. The only way that you're gonna have to live with it, it's actually making a game out of it and really enjoy it and see like, how can I still get pleasure out of this? Because it's part of life anyway. So it's really integrating those parts we want to resist with pleasure, which brings us to that Buddhist way of the path of least resistance, like living life where it's not good or bad, but good or better. You know, even the bad, I get something out of it, you know, even if it's just acknowledging that I'm a human having a human experience. So this is something that I talk a lot about in my program, especially in the second module. I like to work with people who need to find themselves again, who think, you know, like pretty much I got everything going on for me, but it just doesn't feel the way I think it's supposed to feel. And so I like to spend 3 months with someone telling them about masculine and feminine, both theoretically, and I like to back up my lessons with a lot of research that might not have to do anything with spirituality, but more with psychology. I like, I'm still like an educator, so I always like to have my APA backing everything up as much as I can. In the second module, I like to talk about this shadow work, like the parts of you that fuck up with you, and how can you love them so radically and so erotically that they stop sabotaging your life and they bring more of you to the light. Because that's the thing, when you go through the darkness, you come to the light. And then finally, I like to talk about the 4 feelings and manifestations, and how you set yourself up for the next adventure where I'm not needed anymore. Because again, as a teacher, Montessori used to say a good teacher is the one that makes herself useless as quickly as possible. So before I went on to give you the specific of the exercise, I just wanted to share with you this. And if you think it's something interesting for you or for someone you know, I have free calls where I can talk and I can listen to people's stories, because I also love that. So we can go on to the actual exercise. Now you're gonna need pen and paper. And I'm gonna ask you to write down, this is an exercise I developed on the base of existential kink, and I'll be offering another one after. But let's start with this. 3 things you hate and why. So the formula is, I hate blah, 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 because blah, blah, blah. And I would like you to write at least 3 of these things and be as, write as much or as little as you want. And then when everybody's ready, maybe give me like a 1 things about us. Yeah, you can choose. It can be like, I hate my insecurity about my body, or you can choose like, I hate injustice, or I hate my ex. Up to you. Free as a bird. I would maybe not target the biggest challenge you have. That's the only maybe recommendation. Maybe start with something small.
Maybe we can give everybody a minute to have a think about this and then bring everybody back.
Chat, they can write ready or something. I'll give it another song, and then maybe that's enough, I think. I am a fast writer. Shining now tonight, I'll be dancing around. I'm off on the road and going now. Look how she's up on the town. She's off on the search for sailors. But this fine fella here to be found. She's never been one to stay at home. Hoping though it's there, you'll say, and you've work to do in the morning. Give up your dream of going away. If you haven't had any water since the shaking, I recommend a little bit.
Calling everybody to start bringing themselves back to us, wrapping up your thoughts.
Right, because this is just the first part of the exercise, but I just wanted to bring back to the theme of wild and free. So as we were doing the shaking, I invited you to feel that ugly, to connect to this like evil witch, which is like a beautiful part of us. And even when we don't want to be that, by integrating, by finding a place for it, it gives us wisdom. And this part, the shadow work, is the fact that you don't get to really feel free and feel like you are natural until you integrate the parts you hate. So what we are gonna do next is that the same three things, you're gonna rewrite them for me with this different format. So the same thing that you put under hate, you will write. And here I really want you to focus on the energy that it feels for you to write that. You are gonna resist to it, especially if it was something you truly hated. But I'm gonna ask you to write, I love to hate whatever that is, because deep down I want, and then your reason. You might have to adjust the grammar, but the point is that I want you to write the same thing you hate as something that you love to hate, because this transforms that resisting energy into a naughty one, into one we can work with one that can be seduced, and as it is, it stop being an enemy, and we don't feel depleted by this hate, but we get to feel aroused and alive, and we get to transform it. And as you are done rewriting your sentences, I invite you to then read them to yourself and really be with that feeling and notice what happens. Yeah? Let's try it.
May we walk this life in beauty every day of our life under the sun. What is life is never easy, and it brings with it with so much pain. May we stand strong with eyes that high in the middle of life's pouring rain. Waka taka, toca sila, gran espíritu.
I see some people are done. I'm gonna leave it. There's 3 more minutes to go for the song. Maybe that's a good time. In the meantime, I also want to mention what you see written up there, a follow-up exercise from the book. This is literally as it comes from the book. It's called Deepest Fear Inventory. And it gets to be done actually with a partner. And I thought maybe to create a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group if people are interested in it. Basically what you do is that you write a letter to whatever version of deity you believe. If you feel like, you know, dear God or dear love or whatever, and you write, I refuse to, and then you write the things you want. So in my case, I refuse to have a successful business because I am afraid that I will, you know. And then here you do again this reverse formula to uncover the blocks that are keeping you. And there's a bit more instruction to it than just this, but it takes a bit longer. And the reason why you do it with someone is because you can share it as a voice memo, as a video, or as a written post, and then the other person reads it and just like thanks you for it, like thank you for sharing, and you thank them back for listening, and then you delete the post, and in that, like, that energy gets erased, and you get to do it. Like if you do it every day for like a month, I can guarantee you those things will not feel the same way as they were at the beginning. Things that look like mountains, they become more manageable because you realize how you were fucking yourself up, how you were sabotaging yourself, what kind of critics that were stopping you from getting what you needed. So if you wanted, if you think this group would be helpful for you, just share it in the chat, maybe like if it's WhatsApp or Facebook or what. And yeah, Isabella will also write down whether you want to be included in this or not. If tonight it feels like a no, but tomorrow you change your mind and it's a yes, you all have my contacts somehow, Instagram, Facebook, somewhere. Reach out. I'm more than happy. And this brings my part of the deal done. So I just invite everybody who wants to share, whether on screen or on the chat, especially about this exercise. If you want, if there's something that didn't work for you, especially, I'm more than happy to guide a little bit the exercise further. Or if some cool things came out and you're like, oh, I really want to share that. This is your time. I am done talking.